If you want to start having better conversations with people, there are 3 things you need to focus on every single time you talk to them that's going to prevent them from totally zoning out and never wanting to talk to you again. Number 1, how you talk about yourself to them is crucial. Do you get stuck in the pattern of giving lots of information and details, thinking that the more that they know about you, the more they're actually going to be invested in your story? Because that's totally wrong. What you're actually doing is overloading them with information that doesn't even matter. They're not going to remember every single key detail that you mentioned in your story. Instead, they're more focused on getting a broader picture of who you are. But those boring conversations tend to look like this. So my name is Josh and I work in account management. I balance the books and I work with different representatives, and on the weekends I like to play soccer with my friends, and I enjoy movies, and some of the other things I like are video games and TV shows and just going for long walks. Okay, account management, maybe I can ask them, oh, okay, he's on to something else. Okay, yeah, okay, soccer, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now he's talking about something else. Okay, that's okay, okay, all right. You might end up doing that because you're pretty nervous, or you don't know what to talk about, or you just really want this person to like you. But what I would encourage you to do is to move away from dropping lots and lots of details that are super descriptive, and instead focus on one specific thing that you want to talk about that you can paint a visual picture of. Largely, the thing that you choose to talk about should be something that matters to you, something that you enjoy talking about. So painting a visual picture of that might look something like this. My name is Josh and I'm a motivational speaker for teens and young adults. I teach people how to build those skills like confidence, communication, and how to overall create better relationships in their lives, because I know that's something that a lot of young people struggle with as they're growing. That's something I could have really used when I was younger. What inspired you to start doing that? Number 2, you have to be hyper aware of how you're interacting with the things that they're sharing. If they're telling a story or giving you details about their life, do you just kind of give them short, quick answers, hoping they're going to mention something that you personally connect with? Let's say they're talking about their job or a hobby that they have that they're really into, and you don't have the slightest clue what that thing is about. A lot of people just kind of freeze up in that moment and give a simple non-answer response like, oh, cool, and then leave it at that. That makes conversations super boring, and there's a better way to handle those awkward situations. For example, here is the thing that they share with you. There is a past that has gotten them up to this point where you can ask them a ton of questions, and there is a future moving forward of where they see their life growing from whatever it is that they shared. That opens up a whole new doorway for you to ask even more questions. So tell me about yourself. Oh, I work as a teller at a bank. Pause right there. You see, not the most interesting answer, but that's totally fine. There's still a lot of questions that I can ask that can really spark the conversation to go in a deeper direction, and that's exactly what you want to do. Unpause. So what inspired you to take that job? Was it the first job you came across, or it's something that you wanted to kind of develop yourself in? No, it's not really my first job. It's kind of just a job that I have. If I had the choice, I'd really want to maybe pursue something in graphic design instead. Interesting. So if you had the job that you wanted and not the job that you have, where do you see yourself making the biggest impact in this world? Who would you want to work for, and how would you want to do that with graphic design? That's a simple way to kind of expand on the answer that they give you. By tapping into those past questions and future questions, they're going to feel like you're very invested in their story. They're going to want to share more details because you're not just kind of glossing over whatever it is they have to say. You genuinely want to know who they are as a person, and that makes for an interesting conversation and doesn't make you look like a boring person to talk to. Number 3, learn how to fine-tune the length of your conversations. A great conversation can instantly become boring if it drags on too long. There's a lot of awkward pauses, there's a lot of looking around nervously, not really knowing what to talk about next. When you get to that point, the best thing you can do is to find a way to end it. You have to pay close attention to what their responses are like. If in the beginning of the conversation, they're giving you detailed answers, they're sharing a lot with you, they're asking you questions just like you're asking them. As the conversation goes on, does that die down? Do they start giving you shorter answers, one-word answers even, like, yep, cool, awesome, That's great. And those kind of very vague things that don't really add much to the conversation, usually because they have nothing else to add, and that should be your first key sign. Let's say, for example, you're at the end of the conversation, but you don't really know how to lead into the goodbye. How I would recommend doing it is offering up a compliment for that conversation, for their time, whatever it may be, and then leaving an open-ended cliffhanger to jump into the next conversation in the future. Yeah, you definitely got to check out the show. I know you're going to like it. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Cool. You're a really interesting person to talk to, by the way. And you know what? There's another show that I really want to tell you about. I forgot the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Let me get your Instagram. I'll message you later as soon as I remember it. I know you've probably heard of it. You're going to love it if you've never seen it before. Yeah, definitely. You're fun to talk to as well. Message me later and let me know what it is. Now, you might be thinking, what do I do if I don't want to end the conversation, but I don't want to drag it along at the risk of boring that person? The best thing you can do in that scenario is to change the scenery in which you're talking in. Most of the time, the conversations you have with someone are going to be in a static location. You're either sitting somewhere and talking to them, or you're standing somewhere and talking to them. The background doesn't change. But if you were to go from a coffee date to a walk in the park, a dinner date to out to get dessert together, that presents a new opportunity for you to have a brand new conversation. It's going to feel like you're on a second or third date with that person, not like you're just continuing a long discussion from before. And because your mind is going to start to treat it like a second or third conversation, you can always reference something from the earlier conversation in that day to ask for more clarity, to share a story with it, to get deeper into the things that you both talked about. That's an easy way to kind of just hack the whole system of conversations to prevent it from being boring. You really don't have to be the most interesting person to not have a boring conversation. You just got to talk about what you're passionate about, what inspires you, what you actually want to share with that person. Don't fall into the routine of giving this elevator pitch of what you do for work, because that's not going to be fun for you. And as you learn more about that person, tap into their past, tap into their future, dive deeper in with questions to show them that you genuinely care about what they have to say. Anyone can do this, especially you. So go out there, have an amazing conversation, and show them the amazing person that you are.